In this redstone tutorial, I'll show you how to make a one-wide tileable minecart unloader that stops on its own after distributing all of its items. Stick around and I'll show you how to make it. Hello everybody, I'm Rogue Fox and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition redstone tutorial. Looking for more redstone tutorials just like this one? Be sure to check out the rest of my channel, like and subscribe, and also be sure to check out the Truly Bedrock SMP series. For those of you who caught the automatic minecart unloader that I released last week, you may be asking, Rogue, what makes this one different from that one? And simply put, they serve different purposes. In the minecart unloader that I released last week, that one is best for placing under farms, where it collects all the items, takes it to the drop-off area, and then unloads all of the items at one time before heading back. And by the way, if you missed that one, a card to it will be popping up in the top right corner, and a link to it will be down in the description below. As for the minecart unloader I'm showing you today, this one is best for distributing items. So let's say you have a furnace array and you want to distribute all of your ores across all the furnaces. This will allow you to do that, and then once it distributes all the items, it'll go back to the beginning as you saw, and then stop. For this tutorial, we're going to do something a bit different. And by that I mean we're not going to build this section at all. So in the demonstration, I had a blast furnace array set up. Now you may have some other application for this build. So with that, we're not going to go over this section here. I'll leave that up to you. We're going to focus strictly on the redstone itself. So with that, we are going to need a 1x7 area. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our supplies. And there we go. There are all the supplies we'll need for this build. So we have 2 comparators, 1 repeater, 1 dropper, 1 hopper minecart, 1 detector rail, 1 powered rail, 1 stone button, a chest, your building blocks, and then a junk item to go inside the dropper. And no, it doesn't have to be a diamond block. With that being said, if you want to pause the video, go ahead and do that, grab your supplies, and then we'll jump right into the build. To get things started, what we're going to do is grab our blocks and go ahead and line blocks along the bottom row just like this. And then what we're going to do is come back to the front. We have 2 blocks here. Place a block up right there, skip this block, place a block up there, skip this one, and then place a block up like that. So we can go ahead and get rid of all of these just to save our blocks. Now we're not going to do anything down here, but for those of you who like to save your blocks and resources, you don't need those blocks down below. And then finally, what we're going to do is place another temporary block right here and then a block up. So there we go, your block pattern should look like this. Now go ahead and grab your detector rail, and we want to place it on this second block back right there. Grab your powered rail and then place it on the next block up so it does that. Now I did forget this in the supply list, I do apologize, but we want to place a regular rail right there to separate it from the rest of our powered rails. Once your rails are in place, go ahead and grab your comparator. We're going to come to this gap right here. We want to run a comparator out from the rails and into this block, and then on this block, grab your repeater, run a repeater going in this direction into this block, and leave that set to 1 tick of delay. Next, go ahead and grab your dropper, and what we're going to do is place it on this block right here facing towards the rails. Get your hopper, crouch place a hopper into the dropper so it looks just like that, and then go ahead and open up the dropper and throw in your 1 junk item. Once you have that done, go ahead and grab your last comparator and run it out from the hopper and into this block. And then what we can do just to finish it off is grab our stone button and place it on top of this block right here. So when we have our hopper minecart, which is going to be right there, that's going to allow us to send it out. And then because we have nothing in it, it is going to stop. Now the only thing left to do is to place in our chest right above the hopper minecart. And believe it or not, that is the redstone completely finished. Finally, it's time to give it a test. But before we do, let me try to quickly explain how the redstone works, but brace yourself, it's going to be a mouthful. As you know, when the hopper minecart is empty, it's just going to go, it's going to come back and stop, like it should. Now the reason for that is because when it crosses this detector rail, there are no items inside. Therefore, it's not going to detect anything, we're not going to get an output here, and none of this is going to get powered. But when we have items inside, it's going to go down, the detector rail detects that, which then gives us an output from the comparator. And then that's going to power this block, which then powers this redstone repeater, which powers this block, which then powers this dropper, which spits the junk item into the hopper, which then gets detected by this comparator, which then powers this block, which then powers the powered rail to send the hopper minecart back out. So like I said, a mouthful, but hopefully that makes sense. Now that I've explained it, let's go ahead and test it and take a look at the redstone. And it's going to happen pretty quickly, so we can see it pass through. And the best time to see it is when it actually takes off, so we can see how that gets powered at the end. And there we go, that's how it works. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a one wide and tileable design. So with that, I placed 3 of these right next to each other just to demonstrate it. So with them being tileable, they are not going to interfere with the other one. So let's go ahead, in this first one, let's place in a stack of 16. We're going to place a half stack in the center, and then a full stack at the end, and then send it along its way. So again, imagine you have some sort of furnace array set up. Let's say you have, your iron. That one's done. You have your gold. And with the new update about to come out, you're going to have probably copper that you're going to be smelting. So like this, you can have 3 of them lined up next to each other. They're not going to interfere, and then they are going to stop on their own once each one has been emptied of its contents. And there you have it, everyone. Another one wide, tileable, automatic minecart unloader. And like I mentioned, there is a difference between this one and the one that I released last week. Just to quickly recap, this one is best for distributing items across, let's say, a furnace array, and then stopping when it's done unloading. And then the one I released last week is best for collecting from a farm and then depositing all of your items at once at some sort of drop-off point. So again, if you're interested in that build, do check it out. And if you're looking for builds to apply this to, be sure to check out my playlist popping up in the bottom left corner. But with that being said, everyone, this is going to be the end of today's redstone tutorial. I really hope you all enjoyed. This has been Rogue Fox, and I will see you later.